Hello everyone, this is Gary from Fantastic Fundas, and in this lecture we are going to study about the judicial powers of the president. This is the only topic I'll be doing this in this lecture because it is quite a lengthy topic in itself and important for the purpose of our exam. Now, the judicial power of the president, we have done all the other powers of the president already, right? Now this is given under the article number 72 of the constitution. This article number you must remember. I will keep mentioning the article number, you have to remember. Okay, now it says that the president shall have various powers, right? So but first, before I get into like detail of this, I would like to ask you, can you think of a reason that why this particular power was given to the president? Why this power of judicial power? I mean, the judicial power of the president is about pardoning. माफ कर देना किसी को, माफ कर दिया आपको, जाइए आपकी सजा माफ, ऐसे you are forgiven, you won't be punished, you are no longer a convict. So why this power has been given to the president? President is the executive head, right? He is not the judicial head, but this has been given because to err is human. Humans can make an error anytime. So this special provision was created in constitution for this purpose, right? And then to correct the possible judicial error that just might occur, right? And this is applicable for any like judgment, right? For or now this power of the president, right? What all he can do? He can. It's clearly mentioned in Article 72 that he can do these things. Either he can pardon, or that's number one, right? Number two is he can reprieve. I'll tell you the meaning of all these words. You must understand these words. Or he can respite, right? Number four, he can remit, and number five is he can suspend, or he can commute. Now, what do you mean by these words? First of all, let me tell you the meaning of word pardon, right? So pardon means basically your conviction is rescinded and you are absolved from all kind of liability and punishment and disqualification. Okay, so that means it is absolute. Whatever you have done, you are considered no longer convicted. Convicted means that you have been given punishment. It is proved in court of law that you committed some offense. आपने कुछ गलती की जो कि गलत था, आपने IPC को ब्रीच किया, इंडियन पीनल कोड को, आपको सजा मिली, उसे कहते हैं conviction. And conviction is absolutely done away with. You are pardoned. बिल्कुल माफी. ऐसा you are as good as a person who has not committed an offense. So that is what is pardon is. Okay. Now pardon can be of various types. It can be full pardon, okay, or it can be limited pardon, right? Or it can be a conditional pardon. So various kind of things are there in pardon, right? Very simple. You don't have to go in more detail than this. Basically, it means to forgive, right? Then comes the word reprieve. Okay, reprieve is you have filed a case and then in the Supreme Court or or whatever, in various circumstances, your appeal is pending before the president because of some other condition. Your execution is stayed. Your death penalty that is being given to you, that is stayed. That means it is paused, or it is not executed for the time being. Okay, so there is no change in character, right? If your punishment remains as it is intact, it is a temporary relief. Reprieve is a temporary relief. Okay. So that is how it is. So normally reprieve is given so that there can be pardon, but till the time the pardon is not given because the appeal is pending before the president, right? So that time you are given reprieve, right? Then respite. Respite is you are given a lesser sentence because of some special law. Okay, respite actually is like this, that for example, there is some pregnant woman, okay, and you cannot give a punishment to pregnant woman, at least not the death penalty. Okay, so that is how it is. Respite word to me sounds like Sprite. So you can imagine a pregnant woman sitting and drinking Sprite. okay, and Sprite is a cold drink for those people who don't know, right? Now, though these people who are sitting there and drinking the Sprite, this pregnant woman, they, because of the special law, they have been given lesser sentence. Then there is remit. A remit means where the the amount of the sentence is reduced, okay, amount of sentence. For example, you were given 10-year punishment, right? Now under remit, what will happen, that it is reduced to 5 years, something like on these lines. So it is remitted, okay, it is lessened. Basically, right, but there is no change in the character, right? You were given rigorous imprisonment. There are two kinds of imprisonments: rigorous imprisonment, simple imprisonment, right? And this rigorous means a tougher imprisonment where you have to do a lot of physical work also in the jail. अरे वो होता है ना इन बॉलीवुड मूवीज दैट हैपेंस ना, वो कंधे वो तोड़ रहे होते हैं पत्थर एंड ऑल दैट इज रिगरस इम्प्रिजनमेंट. दे ऑलवेज शो रिगरस इम्प्रिजनमेंट. एनीवे, so this character remains same, but the amount of it, like it was 10 years reduced to 5 years, right? And then is commute. Commute is your punishment is for 10 years, it remains for 10 years, but earlier it was rigorous imprisonment, now it has changed to simple imprisonment, or earlier it was death penalty, now it has changed to life imprisonment. So these things are there, okay? The very character of the punishment is changed under the various under the commutation, okay, commute. This is what the basic things are. You must remember these words, and in your mains answer you mention all these words. These things can be asked in your prelim exam also, but they can confuse you by using all these words. Please remember these words by heart, okay? And if you these are clearly mentioned in Article 72 of the Constitution, okay? And all these things, pardon, reprieve, respite, remit and commute, it can be done in these cases, okay? In what cases the president can use this power, okay? I'll tell you. It's given under 72 only. Number one is about wherever the punishment has been given by the court martial. So court martial is the name of the army court where your court martial is held, right? So that is the name of the court martial, okay? And then wherever in offense relating to any law to which the executive power of the union extends, okay? Executive power of union extends. I'll come to this, wait for a while, okay? Executive power of union extends. So any law to which the executive power of the union extends, right? So in those circumstances, in that case, president can use his power of pardon, reprieve, respite, remit or commute. See, normally what happens that many times you were just asked this question, discuss the pardoning power of the president. So that means you have to discuss all these powers, okay? Now, because that is a word used in generic sense, right? So that is how it is. And then in all the cases where the sentence is of death is given, that is specifically mentioned, right, in the Constitution itself, okay? So sentence of death is given. So our Constitution well recognizes the sentence of death also over here, right? Anyway, so I'll talk to you about this executive power of the union, okay? But before that, I would like to conclude the rest of the lecture, and then we'll come to this at the end, right? Now, this obviously this power of the president, it extends to the whole of India, right? And it can be exercised at any time, okay? When can a president exercise this his power of judicial power? At any time, right? For example, it can be to the accused, okay? When the case is going on, you can go to court, president, or when the person is under trial, right? Under trial, or under trial prisoner the person is, or even after the conviction, okay? Obviously, but even before conviction, this power can be used by the president, right? And obviously in this, president doesn't work on his independent will, he works on the advice of the concerned minister. Over here in this case, it is the home minister on whose advice the prime president works, right? And so are there any guidelines for president to follow while using his judicial power? So there are few guidelines, okay, which must be used. And what are these guidelines? We'll talk about them. There are various cases in which these guidelines have been given. I have compiled those cases, right? So I'll talk about them, right? So the most important case actually in that case was this was a Kehar Singh case, okay? Kehar Singh case, in which the Supreme Court came up with these guidelines, right? But in fact, see, this is not exhaustive list, this is not complete list, right? Or court itself said, because there cannot be one, but these are more of indicative, right? For example, that president can go to any extent to examine the evidence on record. Okay, it doesn't mean that the president is behaving like a court, because he's not interfering with the judicial record. See, he's examining the evidence examination, but this doesn't mean that he's playing with a judicial record. That is intact, right? So that is why this cannot be called a judicial proceeding for the purpose of the court, right? That remains undisturbed. But it's a judicial proceeding because otherwise he's using his judicial power as such, right? Now, whether is it amenable to judicial review? Can there be a judicial review of the president decision? Yes, definitely it is open to judicial review. It can be judicially reviewed, okay? And in fact, it has been held in many cases that it falls within the judicial domain, okay? And in fact, this judicial review is available in these grounds. And what are these grounds? That the order of the president was without application of mind. If someone can prove in court that the president did not apply mind without application of mind, number one, right? Number two, it can be when the order is malified, bad, okay? Then that the order has been passed on some wrong, irrelevant consideration, okay? Something, the point was irrelevant to the case, but on that basis which was not related to the case, the decision was taken, or some extraneous consideration, right? And or whenever there is arbitrariness in the order of the president, even then this judicial review can be done, right? So such things are there, right? Then and in this case, because it is not a see, whenever the president is using this power, he is using this as an executive power. He is not using this as a judicial power. Please mind this. Prefer rather than saying that this is the judicial power of the president, you should prefer writing it is the executive power of the president. Most people will tell you this is the judicial power of the president. Even I started this lecture. The purpose was that because that is the term most people are aware with, but here I'm telling you, whenever you want to answer this question, rather than saying that it's judicial power, say it is the executive power of the president, okay? And because it is the executive power and not the judicial power, so there cannot be oral hearing. You cannot say that I should be heard and all that. So there is no right of oral hearing in this case, okay? And number four is that a president, he need not give reasons, explained reasons for his decision. He need not give reasons, again, because it's not a judicial review, right? There's no appeal of this, so there is no need of giving the reason over here, and right? So that is how it is, right? And then there are a few more things about this, that see, this pardoning power of the president, it is an act of grace, first of all, right? It is not matter of right that I go and I want this, if I commit a murder and then I stand in front of Pranab Mukherjee, aisi ki taisi, you give me pardon. No, it doesn't work like that. It is a matter of grace of the right. It is not a matter of right, okay? A pardon not only removes the punishment, but in contemplation of law places the offender in the same position, right, as if he had never committed the offense. That is the impact of the pardoning, okay? And then there was there's also more clauses in the same this Article 72, right? We'll just have a quick look at them, right? So Article 72 clause 2 is there, right? It says that it should not affect, okay, it should not have any kind of impact on the power to suspend, remit, or that was 72 clause 3. 72 says it shall not affect the power that is conferred on the officer of the armed forces to suspend, remit, or commute, right? The sentence passed by court martial. That means that even army has some army officers. For example, there is a judge advocate general, okay? Now this person, he has some power to remit or suspend or commute a sentence given by court martial, right? Okay, so for that is just one example. That power might be with someone else also. So this court martial, it can be remitted or suspended or such thing, right, or commuted. So it says that even they can. Just because president can, it doesn't mean that these people cannot, okay? This is just 72 clause 2. I don't think anyone will ever ask you this detail of 72 clause 2. Now we come to the third clause, which says that it shall not affect the power to remit, commute a sentence of death exercisable by the governor of a state under any law for the time being in force, okay? So basically, in other words, it is saying that the if if the governor is having some power, okay, even the governors have the power to commute a death sentence, though not under constitution, right? That is for example under CRPC that is possible. So then this article 72 shall have no effect on the power of the governor. So, you can say that one side president can do it, on the side governor can do it. How is it possible? Isn't there collision of power? How can you give the same power to lower authority? So the thing is that this power they exist parallelly. So the governor has power not under constitution, like for example he has some power under CRPC, right, criminal procedure code, but that doesn't mean that it is in collision with the president power under article 72. Okay, now coming back to the last thing about this power of the governor, so power of the president, it was, as I said to you, that the power of the governor, okay, it is written in the article 72 clause 1 subclause B. Okay, you can, if you have bare act, please open it, otherwise you can listen to me. It says that in all cases, this is extent of the power of the president to commute, to grant pardon, etc. So in all cases where the punishment or sentence is for an offense against any law relating to a matter to which the executive power of the union extends. Executive power of union extend. That means the president can make pardon regarding, has pardoning power vis-a-vis related to the laws which were made which came into existence, okay, or which were related to the matter to which the executive power of the union extends. So what is this executive power of the union? This has been clearly defined under article number 73. Please open this article number 73. It is very clearly laid down there. What do you mean by this? Okay, it says that the executive power of the union, right, subject to this provision of the constitution. That means all other provisions of the constitution are more important than this article. Okay, just leave that. That is for law students. Read ahead. The executive power of the union shall extend. So what do you mean by executive power of the union? To the matters with respect to which parliament has the power to make laws. Okay, parliament has power to make laws. Parliament has power to make laws. So that is like where the executive power of the union extends. Okay, and second thing is to the exercise of such right, authority and jurisdiction as are accessible by the government of India by virtue of any treaty or agreement. So if there is any treaty or some agreement where the central government can exercise its power, even to that is also called the executive power of the union. Okay, so when I say that the parliament has the power to make laws, that is the extent of the executive power of the union. That means all the laws that are made by the parliament, that means which are given in the two list. There are list 1, okay, list 1, that is union list, and list number 3, this is given under 7th schedule. I hope you remember this now. 7th schedule, the 3 list, and list 3 is a concurrent list. So on state list, central's executive power does not extend, but it does extend to list 3, which is list 1, which is union list, and list 3, concurrent list. That is how article 73 is speaking. Okay, that is how what it seems like, right? But then it is given given in the article 73 only. I will not go into the language of it. It is very complicated, right? But I have simplified it for you, and it says that the policy is that, right, there is a proviso clause actually, right? It says that provided that, okay, if you want to read, right, provided that it's given under 73 clause 1 only, that the provided that the executive power, okay, so this is an exception to the executive power of the parliament. Okay, so that means parliament's executive power does not extend, it does extend to where it can make law. That means list 1 and list 3. But it does not extend to list 3 because as a matter of policy, okay, that as far as the concurrent list is concerned, the states will have the executive power. That is the policy of the law. The states will have the concurrent power. Okay, and it is only in exceptional circumstances that parliament can may some entrust the administration of law on a concurrent subject to union executive, right? So that means the center can have executive power under list number 3, though it is the central law prevails. Even then, the executive power extend to the state only. And regarding list 3, the executive power will occur, okay, only when there is special mention in the very law that in this case the say executive power of the union shall prevail, okay, and the power is expressly conferred by the constitution itself on union authorities. So there are two circumstances when constitution itself specially says that in spite of thing being in concurrent list, here the executive power will be of center, or some law is passed, that act is passed by the parliament on the concurrent list, and in that concurrent list it is specifically mentioned that in this law, under this law, the executive power of the union shall apply and not the state. Only then the executive power of the union will apply to the list 3. Otherwise, in all other circumstances, you can clearly see that under list 3 the states executive power applies, states have the executive power under list 3. Okay, that is very simple, right? तो अगर सेंटर कहे कोई लॉ बनाकर, या फिर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, हमारे संविधान में, आईन में, हमारे कहीं पर भी ऐसा लिखा हो कि यहाँ पर सेंटर की एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर रहेगी, तो वहां तो लिस्ट 3 में सेंटर की रहेगी पावर. अदरवाइज आमतौर पे इन जनरल स्टेट विल हैव द एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर ऑफ द on the list 3. Now this can be an independent question also, number 1. Okay, how many types this question can be asked related to 73? Independent question, number 1, right? Number 2, it can be in association with 72. Number 3, it can also be about the federal structure. So whenever you talk about federal structure of the country, is a very good example of how the executive power of the union has not been given to it, rather it has been given to the state. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you, right? That was all about this the pardoning power of the president and the executive power of the union. With this, the article number 72 and 73 are complete, and the president in itself, the complete topic is over. So that was all about today's lecture, and now just wanted to make two very important announcements. And the first thing is that I just wanted to thank you all whosoever you have shared my videos on various social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, everywhere. Thank you so much from my heart, and it is my humble request that you please keep on sharing this video in future also. जिन्होंने आज तक नहीं share की, if you really like the video, it's my humble request, please share it with others. That gives me encouragement to make better videos and ज़्यादा वीडियोज़, एंड आई कैन कवर ज़्यादा सब्जेक्ट अगर आप इस वीडियो को शेयर करते हैं. एंड सेकेंड थिंग इज़ that this is for your own benefit. If you really like these videos and you want that updates about the new videos should come into your mailbox, you can subscribe to us. You can see the subscribe button over here. You can click on us and videos will come right into your email box. आप हमें सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं. अगर ऐसा करते हैं तो वीडियोस डायरेक्टली आपके मेल बॉक्स में आ जाएंगी. बस इतना ही कहना है. That is all, and thank you for watching the videos.